Is The Mandalorian Season 4 being turned into a movie? Well, today I want to give my thoughts because I think it 110% should. Now, before we get into this article, and by the way, this was posted like everywhere. I just decided to use Bespin Bulletin for this to have it on the screen, but you can find it anywhere. This is now like the second time this is being rumored. It was rumored months ago, then I think it got debunked. Now it's gotten brung up again over the past weekend, so I wanted to give some thoughts on it. And I think they should go this route, man. Before we even read into this article, I think they should go Season 4 Mandalorian, turn it into a movie, and here's why. Back at Star Wars Celebration earlier this year, we got 3 movies confirmed for Star Wars. One of those being a Dave Filoni movie, which was basically going to be the culmination of the Filoni-verse, the Mandoverse, whatever you want to call it. But as I've said on the channel before, I am definitely in the camp that one movie should be turned into a trilogy of movies, classic Star Wars. For one, because it's been years. 2019 was the last time since we got Star Wars in theaters, and originally the Daisy Ridley Rey movie was going to be the first movie, at least rumored, that was going to bring Star Wars back to theaters, which whether the movie comes out or not, just that being the first one that comes out, I think is a horrible idea. But my main concern is the Dave Filoni movie, because this has been the time period in Star Wars that we've been living in since The Mandalorian Season 1 came out. And listen, we've gotten a lot of content from this, time period in the Star Wars universe. Mando Season 1, 2, 3, Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew I think is coming out next year, so there's going to be even more during this timeline. And could you sum it all up into one Dave Filoni movie after a Mando Season 4 and possibly an Ahsoka Season 2? Yeah, sure, but why do these more seasons of these shows when we can get Star Wars, let's be honest, back where it belongs, in the theaters? Let's read into this article before I give any more thoughts. So this is coming from Jeff Snyder of The Hot Mic, which I'll be honest, I'm not a big like rumor mill guy. I only know who Jeff Snyder is, and I believe his partner, what's his name, John Roca. I only know who they are and their podcast because of the Den of Nerds, Josh over there, and watching his live streams all the time. But because of that, I'm going to assume this is like a reliable source. But again, this is the second time this has been rumored. It's just fun speculation anyway. But let's scroll down to the juicy stuff, if you will, and I'll skim through some of this. But I think this is Jeff Snyder quoting this here. I think we're all been operating under the impression that the Daisy Ridley movie was going to be the next Star Wars movie. I know I certainly was. They announced like 3 movies, and it was like, okay, the Daisy Ridley one, whatever, the Rey movie, yeah. Right here it says the next Star Wars film slated to be released is May 22nd, 2026. However, Snyder is now hearing that from his Disney source that is no longer the case, and wanted to share the next Star Wars film to be released will actually be the 4th season of The Mandalorian, which is now taking shape as a movie instead of a season of television. Snyder said a couple of months ago, I shot this one down, that there were rumors that Season 4 of The Mandalorian could be turned to a movie. I think at the time, I didn't think that was necessarily the case. However, that is now what I'm starting to hear. Cool. It is looking like it's going to be the next Star Wars movie, and it might be the thing that's announced before the end of the year. I don't know if that means this year or if he's talking about next year, because obviously this movie wouldn't come out in 2024. I don't know. And it actually says right here, these rumors might sound familiar because in July, 5 months ago, Making Star Wars reported that Lucasfilm and Disney were considering turning the 4th season of Mando into a feature film. And then there's a bunch of other stuff here, but I don't know. Do I really even need to read all this? You got to talk about Pedro Pascal and if he's even gonna be in Mando Season 4 or whatever it ends up being. And then there's just a bunch of other stuff. Not saying there isn't notable stuff here, but it's probably just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But listen, let's just talk about my thoughts on the movie now. I think Mando Season 4 being a movie is best case scenario. Mando Season 1 and 2, great Star Wars, absolutely just phenomenal television. The best thing I think they've put, well, we got the Ahsoka show, the best thing at the time that they put on Disney Plus. Then Mando Season 3 hit, and I was just like, what is this? Like, it got to a point when the most exciting show that Disney is offering gets to a point where I'm not even looking forward to the following week because the previous week was like, what did I just watch? There's a problem. And I know that's not everybody, but I know that's a portion of the fan base. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I almost feel the same way about Book of Boba Fett as well. As these are like Book of Boba Fett and Mando Season 3, like almost very inconsequential for the most part, which is good and bad. And then just a couple of months ago, we had the Ahsoka show, which I freaking loved, especially the middle stretch during the season. Absolutely amazing, and everybody's been calling for a Season 2 of that. However, same thing goes for Ahsoka. I'd rather just see a Season 2 of Ahsoka be turned into one of the movies in a possible Dave Filoni trilogy. This is kind of side subject, but I want to pose the question to you guys as I continue to discuss Are you guys like me and you're way more inclined to rewatch a movie opposed to a season of a show? Because I've wanted to go back and watch like some Mando season 1, some Mando season 2, some Ahsoka, but it's just like at that point, if I'm watching one episode, I feel like I just want to go back and watch all 7, 8 of them. But like that's like a whole day. When like sometimes you just want to watch a movie, you know, I'm gonna put Empire on and it's like 2 hours and some change, and then you're done. Like you don't need to go back and watch 8 more episodes. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm just way more in tune, way more inclined to watch a movie opposed to a show. So like that's another big reason why I just want these to be turned into movies. And let's be real, I'm not trying to turn this into a sequel hate thing, because unfortunately I feel like this gets brung up all the time every time I make a video, but I'm not a big sequel guy. And listen, if you are, no problem at all, but those movies probably did more harm than good. And like we have not seen Star Wars in the theaters since they came out. Star Wars returning to theaters with the Rey movie probably ain't gonna do any more good than the sequels already didn't do. You know what I mean? When Star Wars returns to theaters, they need to return to theaters with a bang. And in my personal opinion, you do Mando season 4, Ahsoka season 2, and the Dave Filoni movie, and make that the new trilogy, Mandoverse trilogy, to tie in this whole timeline we've been living in. And in my opinion, that's just way more exciting than Mando season 4, even an Ahsoka season 2. Well, put up the poll. I'll put it on my community tab. Ahsoka season 2, Ahsoka movie. I'm going Ahsoka movie. I'm sorry, but the movie theater experience just way better than me sitting here. And listen, I love making the reaction videos, but like I'll take the movie theater experience way more. And listen, man, one thing a lot of people have talked about with Star Wars is that there's just a lack of excitement. And here's the thing, when a movie comes out, you're not leaving time week to week for people to ponder, for people to speculate, for people to give people time to not like something. Like when a movie comes out, you go and see it and boom, you're done. When something's coming out week to week, like you have a week to ponder on what just happened. Did you like it? Did you not? You're giving fans all this discussion on social media. I feel like a movie's just a safer bet. And like I was saying, like people talk about how there's just a lack of excitement around Star Wars. And I'm not saying people wouldn't be excited about, oh, Mando season 4 dropping on Disney Plus so-and-so date, but like seeing Din Djarin and Grogu and all those characters on the big screen opposed to our home screens, like that's way more exciting to me. Seeing Ahsoka and Thrawn and Hayden, Anakin back in the theaters possibly, like yeah, I'll take that more than watching it on my computer screen. My excitement level would go from here to freaking out of the screen. And not for nothing, man, but Star Wars was built on trilogies, and even though I don't like the sequels, there it is, another trilogy. Star Wars needs to return to theaters, in my opinion, with the conclusion of what has been the timeline we've been living in for the last couple of years, and that's the Filoniverse timeline into a trilogy of movies. And then where we go from there, by all means, do whatever you want. I don't know where we go from there. Post sequels, I guess, more Rey stuff, whatever they're gonna do, but we should be concluding this time period that has been the backbone of Star Wars for the last couple of years in a trilogy of movies with the movie theater experience behind it. Mando season 4 is one movie, Ahsoka season 2 is another, and then you conclude it in the third and final movie of the Filoniverse. That's what I would do, that's what I want to see, and I hope these rumors are true because my excitement level will be through the roof. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and go follow me across all social medias at NoahNation Vlogs. And until next time, guys, this is where the fun begins.
This is Rogue 2. This is Rogue 2. Commander Skywalker, do you copy? This is Rogue 2.